Well, Giovanni, close. I want to get your thoughts on the Lions. Okay, a really, really depressing loss to the Washington Commanders. I had tickets set for the NFC Championship. I
Dude.
was ready to go, and yeah, really, really tough. So, talk to me about both of our coordinators leaving. Talk to me about your thoughts for next year. How you're feeling?
I feel better after seeing the NFC Championship game because at the current state the Lions were at, given the injuries, and even if Amik Robertson didn't go down immediately,
Yeah,
I don't think we were going to beat the Eagles. I don't think we were going to. I mean, obviously, we couldn't stop the Commanders' rushing attack.
yeah,
We had no chance against the Eagles. So I did feel a little bit better in that. But it's, if we were healthy, that's a different conversation. I think we would beat them healthy, but that's not the world we live in. So it's like, okay, it wasn't meant to be. We
yeah,
got the regular season accolades, or early, brushing off the regular season curses of the Lions. Now maybe let's take a little bit out of the regular season and put it into the playoffs.
yeah,
We don't need to be 15-2 to get to the Super Bowl, And I'm just saying it like it's a choice, but I think we can still take the step back that's going to end up happening when you lose two coordinators, as well as every other coach underneath them. Like, I didn't know that
yeah,
happens when
yeah,
teams are good. Like, we're losing the wide receiver coach. Like, I
yeah.
didn't even know that was possible. But I don't know that was part. I didn't know that was part of the divorce. But yeah, they're taking the kids with them. But when we inevitably take that step back from fifth, I mean, that's the thing. Everyone's scared of taking a step back. We're at 15 wins. We could drop down to 11 and stay afloat. I think we'll be not as good in the regular season, but I think we'll be fine because we have that kind of consistency with the head coach, quarterback, and then you got Sewell and St. Brown. Like, you have those core pieces. Hutchison's included in that too. One also, Hutchison's coming back. And I got to believe that we're going to reload some of the depth that we lost.
Yeah.
We can't go into the season the same way we did this year because we lost everybody. We need to
Mhm.
reload.
Yeah.
But I think we'll still be in contention for the division. I don't know how quickly the Bears are going to be able to turn it around. I don't think the ceiling's super high for the Packers, and the Vikings are a bit of a wild card with McCarthy coming back. I
Mhm.
think we're still in the running to win the division. Then you get a home playoff game, and then I think we could kind of get back to our new standard. It might be a little dicier, but I think I'm still confident that we're going to be able to do it.
So you think it will be worse?
I do, yeah. I mean, from at least from the regular season, it's like it. I'm understanding the importance of a coaching staff.
Yeah.
Seeing the Chiefs, and, what good coordinators can be when it comes to the Eagles. I'm not sure how good Kelvin Shepard is going to be as the new DC. I'm not sure how. I forgot his name, but the guy coming as our OC from the Broncos. Like, I don't know how they're going to do in their first time at this role with us. So yeah, I think it's going to be a step back, but step back from 15 is not bad. We're not
Yeah.
we're not going to nosedive to 4 wins. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And like looking at it this wise, and like I was talking about it with a lot of friends when Ben Johnson left, and I was just like, to be honest with you, I'm not really worried about our offense, like, at all. And the reason is because Sean Payton said when he was working at Fox, when talking about Dan Campbell, he was like, yeah, Dan Campbell is like the Bill Belichick of the offensive side of the football. And people don't really understand that. Like, who brought Ben Johnson in? Dan Campbell, you know? And like, so people saying that the Lions offense isn't going to be the same and all this, like, blobbly blue, that's no, like, that's just not right,
It's
because
nonsense.
yeah, it's nonsense because Dan Campbell is the one that actually is doing it. Like Sean Payton said it himself, like, he is that guy kind of guru on the offensive side of the ball. So to be honest with you, like, offensive wise, I'm not concerned at all. We have a great O line. We have Jameer Gibbs. Jared Goff was fine. Like, everybody's saying that Jared Goff, like, is the reason why we lost that game. Screw you, man. Jared Goff was fine. Okay, like,
It was
we got
he was
they
one of
scored
the
40.
reasons.
Yeah, they scored 45 points. We couldn't stop him at all. Okay, Jared Goff is at least trying to make plays down the field, and he's trying to get us back in the game. Yes, he made a couple of errors. The only person that's not going to make errors in those situations are Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. There's two. There's two. And if you say Lamar Jackson, you're wrong because he fumbles every time. All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a little heated here.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I
like,
mean,
when we're looking at this though, it's like, okay, Ben Johnson, he could do a good job in Chicago. Blah blah blah. Okay, they don't have an O line right now, so I'm not really concerned with them. And if you're looking at Detroit, we have all the foundations offensively. Okay, defensively, I was concerned with Aaron Glenn 2 years ago. Okay, he had an unbelievable defensive coordinator year with this crew. He did a fantastic job, but we also brought in a lot more help talent wise defensively. So if we're bringing in another guy defensively, and also with who we draft and who we get, we still have Brad Holmes. I feel like they're going to build the defense, and I feel like we might not be the 1 seed, but that doesn't matter when the playoffs come around. You know,
I mean,
it
yeah,
just
clearly the
doesn't.
1 seed isn't a guarantee.
Exactly. And the reason why we got the 1 seed this year was because we played, I believe the number was 14 games out of the 18 games indoors. Nobody gets that. Nobody gets that. That's why I was betting Lions 1 seed and all this stuff, because I knew that the Lions were going to be awesome. And that's because we're playing indoors and we have the best offensive football. That
We played the AFC South. That helps
right?
too.
Yeah, exactly. Like we had the best schedule we possibly could. Now with this schedule coming up, it's going to be a lot harder. But the fact of the matter is that we're good enough to be a playoff team, and if you put us in the playoffs, we can beat anybody. And that's why I'm very confident, and I feel like that we're at least going to be an NFC Championship team because of like what we have and the crew that we still have that's there. Like the Lions are going to go make a move this. Like we were talking before the pod, maybe it's Myles Garrett. I mean, like we don't know, you know? So overall, as a Lions fan, like I feel great. The Commanders lost. It stung. It sucked. But the fact of the matter is I think you're right. We lose to the Eagles. You know, the Eagles are a really, really good team. So we might as well have lost to the Commanders and not gotten there. That's fine. That makes us hungrier for next year. So overall, yeah. I feel great. I had to get that spiel out, but go ahead.
No, you're right. And like going to what you were talking about for Ben Johnson, like I'm not going to lean as heavy into the way you were doing it with like, oh, it was all Dan Campbell. Like
yeah.
Ben Johnson was still
Johnson's
extremely
great.
good.
I'm not trying to take away anything there. He's great. He's awesome. Yeah,
he is. But and I liked what he said when he was leaving. It's like this offense is set up for anyone to be able to operate it well.
Yeah,
and it's the roster itself is good enough to be there. It's the offense is still going to be a strength given the roster. And honestly, I like the internal hire of Calvin Shepard to the DC because of like whatever Aaron Glenn did is got to rub off a little bit on Calvin Shepard because whatever it was that kept that defense afloat from Aaron Glenn, I got to imagine that kind of continues because that's something I wouldn't want to lose because you add someone new in, then your range of possibilities is everywhere. It could nosedive again, but I like this one kind of keeps it a little bit more consistent. But yeah, I'm still confident the coaching staff is, I do love Dan Campbell. They're not going to give him the credit because of the kneecap thing. No, you can't get it out of your head. That's the importance of a first impression. And no one's going to give him the schematic credit for that. But I still think like the raw belief, the indomitable human spirit, that's Campbell's specialty.
And you said
that takes you far.
You said our new OC's from the Broncos.
I think he was previously the Broncos pass game coordinator, but he was with the Lions previously in 2022.
Sean Payton. Like we're getting guys that know what they're doing. And Sean Payton is one of the best offensive minds we've seen. Like he literally loved Bo Nix. I didn't see it with Bo Nix. I thought he was trash. And like literally they made the playoffs. So like Sean Payton is a guru when it comes to offensive side of football. And if he's saying that about our head coach, I feel great.
And I trust the Lions organization to hire great people, and they draft great people, they acquire great people. I think they got a good sense of that. So I'm not, if that's who they select, I'm comfortable with the decision, at least at this moment. I want to give myself the opportunity to have my judgments later, but at the time I trust them to make that decision given their resume.
That's fair.